with his mother driving sidecar. Hey, everybody, we have a new barrel pick release Creek from Knob Creek. Who? I know we have a couple of people. Here comes one of them now from the Knob Creek pick. Look at everybody, give Jack a round of applause. All right, Ed Comfort was on the Knob Creek pick. You were not on the pick? Who was also? Cress was on the pick. Anyway, if you want to try it before you give us your credit card and buy it, you can. It's right back there. Go help yourself. And also the Peerless and the Hoovers, we've got a few cases left. And if you purchase a Knob Creek, we're going to take $30 off of those bottles to start moving that inventory as we have 5 more picks coming in. All right? Secondly, housekeeping items. You cannot order food any longer in this area. If you want to get dinner, you're welcome to. You would have to go inside, order it yourself, and pick up your own food. You cannot order it through the ladies who are helping us with Big Bourbon Club. Everybody okay? The worst look I got without announcement was my wife. So what am I supposed to do? You all take care of Suzanne, but nobody else. All right? We're going to start in 15 minutes. everybody. I've been informed we're going to our guest of honors are on their way. So be patient with us and grab another Knob Creek. I mean, like buy one and then open your own. That's not funny. So let's bring up everybody. Raise your hand if you know Eric Woosley. Well, now don't go crazy or anything. You just raise your hand if you. So Eric, bring Eric up, and we're going to test the interactive system here. Eric,
What's up?
I don't have my glasses on. Is that an old Carter hat?
Yeah, it is. If you don't have your glasses on,
You're a lying son of a. Can you hear us? Okay.
I can hear you. You hear me?
We can hear you real well. Yep.
Perfect.
All right. Anything else we need to do, Mr. Reynolds? Say again. Hey, Eric.
Talk to me.
If you would, for all of the other members in the top shelf VIP lounge, would you let them know now that if they need to ask a question or want to ask a question, they just need to notify Bill like you did, and then we'll bring them up.
Yep, I'll do it.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to shut her down for a minute. seats. We're going to kick it off now. Everybody settle down. Hey, we have a number of folks outside. We have about 5 seats inside if you would prefer to be in. You're welcome to stay out. We will serve you out. But if you'd rather be in here, we've got some seats closer up, okay? I'm not sure it was, but it should have been my walk-up song, right? So thank you for coming out to the Big Bourbon Club to our September meeting. We appreciate you being here. So welcome, welcome. So a couple of housekeeping items. We've got obviously a very large group, which is exciting. Mark and Sherry, thank you for that. If you would, a couple of housekeeping items. It gets very loud under the roof here, so please be cognizant. Even if everybody whispers a little, it gets so loud up here we can't hear. And I'll interrupt you and tell you that, okay? So if you would, just be as courteous as you can. Not that you're discourteous if you're talking, but it does get really loud, so we appreciate that. No food can be ordered. If you want food, you're welcome to go inside and get it. It's fantastic. We're no longer serving Knob Creek up front from our most recent barrel pick. After the event, you can go purchase a bottle of Knob Creek or any other barrel picks we have, okay? And then we're going to have 3 expressions tonight from Old Carter that you're going to get to try. And I will ask you as we're pouring, because there's a lot of folks here in and out, if you haven't been served yet, let us know and we'll get to you, okay? Other than that, we're about ready to go. Any questions? Anybody nervous? Sherry, you nervous? No, we're in good shape. Okay. So welcome to the Big Bourbon Club. Raise your hand if you travel from outside Louisville to come to see the Carters. Raise them high. I didn't say whoop it up from Baton Rouge. I said simply, no, in all seriousness, when you rate, obviously the Baton Rouge table over here. They called Old Carter coon-ass hooch. And I said, no, you're at the wrong event. No, they didn't say that. I did. Okay. Real quick, wherever you're from, Tommy Reed, I'll start with you, always do. Yell out where you came in from just for this event. And go around the room real quick. Clearly on the rich side of Baton Rouge. Where we're from? Fort Myers. What about Pennsylvania, Blake? I'm looking out for you, brother. So we've had folks come in from all over the country. We're excited to have you here. Raise your hand if you're not a Big Bourbon Club member. Raise it high. Raise it high. All right. So, no. Treat our guests with respect. If they don't join right now, then we boo them. There are 3 membership levels of the Big Bourbon Club. Raise your hand if you're a top shelf member, which is our premium level. So these are a lot of folks. They stroke a $125 check a year, and as a result of that, they come to all these events, and that pays for their admittance, amongst the barrel picks and other things. So thank you for that. Raise your hand if you're a small batch member. That's typically for the out-of-towners. Rhonda is, but another premium level. And then the rest. Raise your hand if you're a free member of the Big Bourbon Club. So we have plenty of free members. You're a premium member. So we have a free membership, and it's forever free. And when you join the Big Bourbon Club, we're a virtual club, meaning that we have an app. Download the app, and you can stay engaged with all of us and everybody else, the other 4,300 members of the Big Bourbon Club, through the app. Today, we're getting, on average, 500 engagements every day from you all engaging on the app. We're also live streaming. So we've got TikTok Live right here. We've got Welcome and Facebook up here. And we live stream the event. So if you don't live in Louisville, as you all know, you don't have to be here to participate and enjoy it, right? You can also get barrel picks if you're not in Louisville. So if you're not a member of the Big Bourbon Club, give us a shot. Try the free membership. Upgrade later if you want to. But on everybody's table, there is a QR code that you can take a little snapshot with your camera. There you go, right there. and that'll take you right into the app to join, okay? Easy stuff. Next month, we do not have an event. In November will be the last event of the year, and that's going to be Jim Beam. And we haven't determined yet what expressions, but we think we've got something cool lined up with them, not something that you're going to get at the store all the time, okay? We also have tonight a couple of special guests that will speak to you for a few minutes about very worthy causes that they represent, and we'll give them a chance. And in the meantime, we want you to have fun, sit down, and enjoy the reason that you're here, and that is our good friends, Mark and Sherry Carter. Mark and Sherry.
Hello. I was told to speak into this like as Darth Vader. Can everybody hear
Let's
us?
see. Yeah, that works.
Not over it, into it.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
This is my
You're-
radio voice.
You're scaring me. Hi, you guys. Thanks for coming out. We really appreciate seeing all of you. And for those of you who have traveled far and wide, it's welcome to Louisville. We are having a lot of fun doing what we do. How many of you guys know the brand? All right. Okay, good. Well, for those of you who are new, welcome as well. And so you know what you're up against. So I guess buckle up, buttercups. We're
Okay.
we're doing what we do here. We were talking earlier today, and we said, well, what order do you want to pour these in? And I looked at Mark, and he looked at me, and I said, well,
Let's give them something new.
well, no. So yes, you will be tasting something new that's not yet released. We do have one oldie, I guess if you want to call it that. We've got Rye Batch 8, I believe, tonight. We also have two very small batches. We've got the
that no one's ever seen yet.
No, these are hot off the tank, if you will. And so we're excited to share these expressions with you. We've got the California very small batch and the
And New York and
and
New
then
Jersey, yes.
New York, New
Those are the
Jersey
two.
very small batch.
So
So what I was really getting at
Yeah.
was what order are we going to pour them in?
well, we just poured this first one. You want to try that and see
so
what
we're
you
trying
think?
to figure out.
That's the
This is
California.
our first time doing this, so bear with us as we figure it all out with you. But we're trying to figure out the order. So Steve.
Back there, yes.
So once we figure out the order of pour, how does it work?
yeah.
That sounds good. I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Russell's the first to get. So we're trying to figure out the order that we want to serve these in. Okay, super. All right. So I'll figure out the order while Mark talks to you.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have all three over here?
Yeah, that's the first one, and then this is
That's the rye.
No, that's the California, the lowest proof, actually. So taste that, and then
This is. I feel like we're torturing you guys, and I apologize.
Do you all need a tiebreaker?
yeah.
All right. Actually, can we just taste that rye? Because I'm
Okay.
wondering if we should start with the rye.
Hey Brian, do you have actually another glass for the rye? I guess so we can taste the rye.
Let's
Then
taste that.
Just
This'll
want to
be
make
quick, I
sure
promise.
we're building up.
So-
and usually we start with the lowest proof and build up. You guys all
we
know
should go
that,
with for
but
flavor, I think.
yeah, and flavor.
Well, anyway, would you guys like to hear a little history of the brand? Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
Actually, I think tonight Sherry's going to start because it all started with Sherry. She gave me my first bourbon I ever had in a Manhattan. So you start, and we'll try this one here.
Okay. All right. Well, a long time ago, I met Mark Carter in California at his inn and restaurant. I'm from Ohio originally, and I moved out to California in the late 90s. Rye first. I go rye first.
Okay, let's do it.
Well, I think it's the most delicate. Who would vote to drink the rye first? I think we need to, but the other
Let's
two,
do it. Yeah.
I think we go rye first.
So, all right, ladies, you're on. So,
Okay, so back to this crazy story. So
Batch 8 rise.
I showed up at Mark's place and ordered a Manhattan. And he said,
There's something really good here. I said. I think my DNA said this. I should be drinking this more often.
so yeah, so he was very, very, very into wine at the time. And I was also into wine, but bourbon was my passion then. And so it goes. So we had that Manhattan.
Yeah, and that was the start of a beautiful thing. So, you know, I know that a lot of you know that we did make wine. We still make wine in Napa Valley, very high end wine. We've been very fortunate to be on some great vineyards. We got there early on in '98 was our first vintage, and that's been going really well ever since. We bought a winery in actually 2006 and looking for some custom crush clients back then. I talked to a lot of my friends that were innkeepers, and only one person wanted to make wine, and that was a guy out here in Kentucky. And his name was Dixon Dedman. And I said, well, we can make some wine for you, or we could bring back your bourbon brand you guys used to have 100 years ago. And so we decided to do that instead. And that's how we kind of got to Kentucky. And I'm going to let Sherry go from there.
So yes, so that brand you guys probably know that was Kentucky Owl. So we started Kentucky Owl with Dixon and bought some barrels, waited, did our thing, double barreled a bunch of it. I was doing the label at the time. Mark Carter was. I'm a designer artist. That's my background. I do all the labels and everything for Old Carter and did the label for Kentucky Owl. So Mark kept saying, can you get the damn label done, Sherry? We got to put something out. It took a couple years. I think that was good for the whiskey, actually.
Yeah, thank goodness. You know, if it's something slow, like, you know, even doing the label was okay because it is bourbon. The longer we wait, the better it gets most of the time.
Yes.
So I was pretty happy, and Sherry did a phenomenal job with the first label. And, you know, you want to tell the part where that label and brand disappeared?
It did, well, it didn't quite
For
disappear,
us.
but so you guys all know. So it went on as it did. We did 6 releases with Kentucky Owl, 3 single barrels, 3 small batches, and we were just getting started and just falling in love with Kentucky and being here and making whiskey and all the people in this great place. And all of a sudden, it was gone.
And we didn't want to leave.
No.
We fell in love with Kentucky. We fell in love with bourbon, and we weren't done.
No. So we decided that if we were going to sell, we would do that. However, we were not done making whiskey. So Old Carter was born very soon after that, and this is where we're at today. So I told the story earlier to the group. A couple of y'all were there, which is basically that when we were doing Kentucky Owl, we did 6 releases, 3 single barrels, 3 small batch expressions. And we did that from 2014 to 2016. So 2 years, 6 releases. We started at Old Carter in 17 and released our first batches in 18. And so from 2018 till now,
definitely over 100 different expressions. So we've been real busy.
yeah.
They're very small batches, though, because we are a very small company, and there's only basically 4 of us that do everything.
And Sam.
Yeah.
5 of us.
Yeah, but for a long time, there was only 2 of us.
Yes.
It was just Sherry and myself.
Yes.
But then we've got some new members of the team, which are actually Jay Matthews.
Jay Matthews, right there, everybody.
Phenomenal, in charge of production. And we got Brian Booth.
The amazing Miss Brian Tyler Booth.
In charge of sales and locker program.
We have Miss Sam,
and
social media.
We just brought on Sam to do social media, and it's doing a great job with Instagram.
So yeah, we're a very small team, but all of the barrel selection, blending, and all of the well, we kind of all do it all now. But Mark and I did everything together for a very long time. So with that, I know we make bourbon, rye, American whiskey, Kentucky whiskey. Everything's extremely limited editions, 3 barrel blends to 7 to 13 barrel small batches. Very small batches are all 3 barrel blends. That's what you guys are going to have tonight. And I think the rye was a what, 8 barrel blend?
7 or 8 barrels for the rye this time. This is
Yep.
batch 8, and then the other 2 are very small batches, which are 3 barrel blends, which usually end up about between 550 bottles to 700 bottles. Even the rye, I think, was maybe 1,500 bottles at the most.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Mark and Sherry, is this a good time to stop for a question?
Sure.
All right.
Does everybody have something to drink now?
There's
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, raise your hand if you haven't received yours yet. Yeah, so we still have a
Okay.
couple tables.
It's like
Hey,
a
Bill,
wedding. Okay.
It's like a wedding. And when I took the picture of you two, it looked like you were renewing your vows up here too. So
Oh.
it is like a wedding.
It's about time.
Hey, Bill, do we have a question from out there?
Yes, we're still making wine underneath Carter's Cellars, mostly Cabernet. We do have one blend off the Hosfeld vineyard, which has Merlot in it. We also make Envy wines, which has quite a few different varietals. We grow grapes at the winery at Envy, which we do Sauvignon Blanc, Cabernet, Merlot, and Petit Syrah on the property. But we do a few more different varietals, Chenin Blanc, and let's see, some Pinot Noir from time to time too.
Okay, so how are we doing? We got a few left to be poured. Why don't we go ahead? Why don't we go ahead and taste the rye? We have more to go. Okay. Well, don't drink it all. Just take a little taste. We have a few more to pour as well.
I'm smelling the microphone.
How's that?
Not like rye. Here. It's definitely rye. That was the one. That was a good one to start with, I think.
It's good.
Is that it?
No, these are both the small batches.
Is that it? The small batches? All right. So the ryes are out and about.
Yeah, they should.
Does Jay have any?
They did good pour. You made it all the way around.
Is that the rye?
2 rye.
That's where you are.
All right. Let's pour the. Yeah. We'll do a couple.
God, it's so good to see you.
I wasn't going to leave you by yourself. Are you crazy? Are you crazy, guys?
Yeah, we need handlers.
Okay, has everybody had a chance to have a sip? So, what do you think? $115.8 proof. Bottle number 1 of 1607, batch 8. What do you think of the rye?
Bottle number 1.
I have never heard this crowd so quiet. What do you get off of it? What do you get on the nose? Mint. What else you get? Spearmint. What do you get on the tongue? Warm. What flavor, what notes do you get? What is it? Pear. There you go.
I like that note.
He's not even 21. He's got better palate than everybody else here. No, he's 21. Anybody else get anything? Anna, what do you get? Sandy. Roses. There you go. Mouthfeel. What do you all get when you taste it?
Well, I would agree with everything that we're hearing. You know, tasting is so subjective. So we never say yes, no, or anything about whatever anybody tastes, really. But what we always strive for is really great mouthfeel,
Mouthfeel is really big to us. You know, richness, that
mouth coating.
depth of flavor.
Hmm.
You know, that those are what we try to shoot for, with some sweetness at the end always. But you know, there's every batch we do and every expression we do is going to be a little different, and that's what we wanted. Just like it was a different vintage
Yeah, that
and
is
a
kind
different vineyard.
of. I would say that is one of the unique qualities about Old Carter, is that we knew we would never make the same whiskey twice because we're small. And that's what we do. We select barrels and blend those barrels and create an expression that we love in that moment at that time. And we only have a few check boxes that we want to make sure we check off when we do that. And that is that it is what's your favorite tasting note?
Delicious.
So it has to be delicious, but it also has to have great mouthfeel, and just be something that you're really going to remember because it's got the finish, it's got the longevity, and it's got a lot of times we'll go with something that's a little more unique, maybe not something that's down the beaten path, because it is more unique and it is something that's more expressive of kind of who this company is and what we strive for and what we do. It's more like cooking than making whiskey, probably.
And one of the things Jay just pointed out, we kind of, when we're blending and we're really loving what we're doing, usually it will raise the hair on our arm or the back of our neck. You know, it's just that then that's it right
Well,
there.
it's like making art, right? When you hit it, when you hear a chord of music that raises the hair on your body, you know that that's resonating with you. And so for us, when we make something that truly resonates with us, that happens. It actually does happen.
So Keith just came in. He's sitting outside, but he's got some notes he wanted to share.
Yeah, it's Ken. But
Excuse me, it's Ken, not Keith. Sorry.
there is a caramel in there from a normal bourbon, but it's really overshadowed by anise and like a hot pepper. There you go. Yeah, it's really hot. You bet.
I can't tell you how many people who said they didn't drink rye drank this and they opened their eyes. Right? That's what it's about. Right?
And I think
Yeah, we got to do that.
so. I think that is a perfect example. Thank you, Ken.
Yes, thanks, Ken.
That's a perfect example of a layer that we like to bring into our whiskeys, which comes from that double oaking, which we talked about earlier when you were at the club. You know, so we do a lot of double barreling, right? So a secondary brand new barrel on a lot of our sourced barrels that we work with. And we do a lot of sourcing, but we're also distilling, as
Yeah.
Mark mentioned.
Yeah, we've actually been distilling since 17 over at Castle and Key, so a lot of that's really getting close to 6 years old, and we really like anything that's like 7 years is kind of our sweet spot to 9 years. Another thing besides double oaking that Sherry, what we were saying is we never ever actually cut anything we've ever made. It's always been barrel proof. You know, we think that's a big thing for us. Uh, you know, we just love the flavor, and if you want to put water in it, if you want to put Coke in it, whatever you want to do with it after you get it, please taste it first. But then you can do anything you want with it after that.
We call that drinking responsibly.
I can't read that. So whatever. So throw out a number. You've had a lot of rye. Raise your hand, number one, if you like rye better than bourbon in general. So, wow, I'm blown away. We've only got, seriously? It's a low percentage. I thought it would be 30% rye. I'm blown away. So the rest of you like bourbon better. So what do you think about this rye? Have you ever had this before? Raise your hand if you've had this batch 8 before. So really, of course, Chris Heller has. He's
had everything.
Chris Heller. I'm joking. How do you score that on a scale of 1 to 10?
95.
95, yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10. Y'all like that? All right, so I just got notice that Richard Bustamante, who's a good friend of ours, premium member, always sits where Scotty High is right now, is in New Zealand with his wife who's from New Zealand, and he is online. His mobile won't allow him to pop up on the screen, but he's saying hi to everybody. So, Richard, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. All right, any questions for Mark and Sherry? Any questions? Tom, read. Age statement on the rye.
Oh, that would be 7 plus.
7 to 8, yeah.
It'd be 7, but it's probably 7 to 9.
But you all know how that works. Actually, just for a little reference, we did batch 6 bourbon, and we had mostly 15 years in there, but we put some 8 in there, so it would have had to be 8. And so we didn't put an age statement on it, but, you know, that's kind of how it works.
Any other questions? So I've got a question that came over. Do we have one over here?
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't even know. Honestly, because of NDAs, you buy through brokers, and those guys won't divulge the information because of their NDAs. So oftentimes,
I was going to say it's on the back, you know, and we've done everything straight, so and it's all.
No clue, not a clue. I could not.
Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, I can make a lot of guesses.
We always work with
Make
the
a lot
same
of
bill.
conjectures.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's what I can't tell you for sure. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell you for sure.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Huh?
You go ahead. I'll take it.
No, that's fine.
And if you set a standard on doing it on every label, I shoot myself in the foot when I put out a Kentucky whiskey. You know? So.
Yes.
So I've got a question, Mark and Sherry, from the Facebook Live. How many states are you distributing in today, and what does your expansion program look like?
Okay. Distributed in
10 states.
10 states. They are Kentucky, California, Georgia, Louisiana, DC, Maryland, Delaware, New York, New Jersey, Tennessee.
Yeah.
The newest one, yeah.
I didn't miss anybody? Oh, Alabama. No, I didn't. Louisiana.
You know, we get asked every day almost, somebody wants us in a state, and it's really hard to say no because it would be wonderful to be in other states.
We would love to be. It's not because we don't want to be.
We really want to grow with integrity. This is really important to Sherry and myself. We can only make so much great bourbon at a time, truly. You know, we could turn out a lot of stuff that wouldn't be up to our standards. And so we're really growing, and it's going to be really fun when billet that we make over at Castle and Key, and we've got all kinds of different mash bills and things when that comes into also, because we are actually purchasing barrels and everything, so we will be able to grow, but it's maybe a couple of states each year is what we're really if we're
Good job. No, for real. We want to grow, but we want to do it the right way. Could we get bigger tomorrow? Sure. We're self-funded. We are a small company. We are just doing our best, and we want to keep it the art that it is, and keep the special quality that's there. And the only way we're going to do that is if we do it all by ourselves. So please have your patience and bear with us, and we'll grow as fast as we possibly can.
Those of us in Kentucky are very patient, and we appreciate that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
There's a question out there.
Sandy.
You go ahead.
Well,
Not
no,
us.
that might be easier, but no, we actually taste everything. So we do a lot of intense work behind the scenes, actually. Mark and I can start sometimes with 50 barrels on our program, and we'll taste through all the barrels very quietly. He'll take his notes, I'll take mine. Mine are more prolific. And
Mine says delicious or not delicious.
Mark has a shorthand, which I actually have adopted some of it. It's pretty cute. He's got LH.
Long finishes.
No,
My LF
no.
is my long finish,
Yeah,
but
LH
a
is
little hot.
So we'll go through and taste all these barrels individually, very quietly, and not talking to each other at all, and listening to music, and then we'll be done. And then I'll look at him, and he'll look at me, and he'll say, "Are you done?" I'll say, "Yeah, are you done?" Okay, let's talk about it. So then we start talking about the barrels. And it's very interesting because our palates are similar but not the same.
Exactly.
Which I love. So I'll have barrels that I like and love, and he has barrels that he likes and he loves. But there are nuances throughout those that might be different, but the core qualities of each barrel we seem to usually agree upon.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so then we just start eliminating barrels that we don't like, and then we start pulling barrels forward that we do, and
So-
then we start blending.
Like you said, you start with 50. You might get down because we're maybe going to use 13 of those barrels
Or 6.
or 6.
So that's kind of how it is.
All
No,
right, we
no
have a-
dartboards are harmed in the making of our whiskey, I will have you know.
We have a question from my third favorite son out of 4, Connor. He is so sick of that joke. He's sick of it. He's the only one who's here.
You definitely should be favorite son.
Connor,
Absolute.
your mother and I love you dearly. And I'm joking. But go ahead.
What's that? Well, they just relax for a little
Yeah,
longer.
we put them back in the warehouse
Yeah.
and leave them there, and we'll try them next time.
Yeah. It's all good. They're cool. It's cool. Exactly. No. Well, you just say next time, baby. We'll see how you
Maybe
do.
it's your turn next time.
Yeah. Okay, so the other two, I don't know the order.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to change. I'm sorry. Did I catch you at a bad moment?
No.
So go ahead.
The next two, I don't care.
Yeah,
It,
so
it doesn't really matter if you want to.
Well-
What's being poured out there is probably the
We're-
California.
California.
So we're pouring now, but in the interim as we pour, we've got a guest. We have a couple of guests that I'd like to introduce. Elizabeth Chandler is with the Speed Museum of Louisville. Raise your hand if you've been to the Speed before.
Yeah.
One of the real hidden charms of Louisville, Kentucky, that is internationally renowned, probably more so than it is locally. But she's doing her best to raise money and develop to help it even better locally as well as internationally. So anyway, Elizabeth, come up and tell us about what you're up to.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Chandler. I'm Associate Director at the Speed Art Museum. Associate Director of Advancement at the Speed Art Museum. Let's be clear. And thank you, Steve, for having me here today to tell you a little bit about our second biggest fundraiser of the year, which is called the Art of Bourbon. This will be our 5th year hosting the Art of Bourbon, which will take place on Thursday, September 22nd, so next Thursday. And this was developed from our former director, Stephen Riley, and we basically auction off a lot of really phenomenal bourbons, including Old Carter. Thank you for being a part of our auction for the past several years. And we get a lot of really fantastic old dusties in the room, great bourbon experiences, but all of the proceeds go to benefit the Speed Art Museum and our operating budget. We work very closely with people like Fred Minnick and Mark Abrams to develop this auction. And this year, we're actually really excited to have this back in person at the museum. The past 2 years have been completely virtual, so we're really, really excited to offer a cocktail hour for in-person attendees where you're able to try various bourbon brands, really unique bottles that you wouldn't be able to purchase in stores, for a full seated dinner, and then the live auction itself. We're also streaming it online, so if you're not able to come in person, we will have it. You'll be able to bid online as well. If you want to visit the artofbourbon.org, you can see all of the bourbons that we have up for auction. And I'm going to rely on my list of bourbons that we have for auction because I'm not a bourbon connoisseur, admittedly. I'm slowly learning. But we do have some really incredible bourbons up for auction this year, including an 8-year-old Booker's, which was bottled in 1897. So it's a really phenomenal bottle that came out of nowhere from Atlanta. We have a Blanton's 1992 bottle, a 2020 King of Kentucky bottle, along with a whole package from Hermitage Farm. We have a 7-year-old Gold Vein Old Weller from the 1970s, as well as a Dowling Deluxe, an aged 14-year-old that was also bottled in the 1970s. In addition, we have it's a birthday party too. We have a lot of Old Forester birthday bourbons, 2015, 2016, 2021. And we also have some incredible BPR ryes, one BPR rye and one Sherbrooke rye, also from the 1950s in this auction. In addition, we have an incredible lot from Maker's Mark that is a barrel, a private select barrel, and an incredible art piece that's been created from Neely Cooper. So really, really great experience. Visit theartofbourbon.org. Please join us. I've been told this is the best auction we've come up with so far, so we're really, really excited to welcome people back in the door at the Speed Art Museum and then also online. So hope you guys can join us next Thursday. Any questions? Yeah. artofbourbon.org. O-R-G.
And there is some Old Carter on that auction block, I think.
So
Is that
Elizabeth, oh, I'm sorry, Sherry.
Is there some Old Carter on the? All right.
So thank you very much. And for all the Big Bourbon Club members, we are a sponsor of the Art of Bourbon event Thursday night. And if you go to the newsletter that you would have received in the last week, there's an entire section on link through to the site to buy raffle tickets. So did anybody hear that? Okay, so it's on there. We love the Speed. It's a great, great, great cultural icon of Louisville, and we want to make it even better. Thank you, Elizabeth. Appreciate it. Okay, how we doing on the pours? No, that's not what I was asking. That's not what That's okay. Raise your hand if you haven't received the second pour yet. So we've just got a few in the middle. All right. Let's see here. I've got a question. Let's see if it's come in. Okay. So Mark and Sherry, I've got a question from cyberspace. With wine, you generally have to blend and taste, guessing what it will taste like at some point in the future. When you select bourbon, do you take the same approach, or do you taste and then blend and bottle pretty much immediately? Does that make sense? You want me to repeat it?
Can you repeat that question?
I can.
Thank you, Steve.
Hey, everybody. A little bit lower, please. A little bit lower. Okay, a lot lower, please. All right, I'm going to read the question again. With wine, you generally have to blend and taste, guessing what it will taste like at some point in the future. When you select bourbon, do you take the same approach, or do you taste and then blend and bottle pretty much immediately after that?
We actually, both of them are the same. Actually,
Yeah.
we
That's what I was
actually
gonna say.
pick and we actually ferment the grapes for the wine, but it takes 18 months, only 18 months, and then we blend from all the barrels we have to make the best wine we can possibly make. And we do the same thing when we get all the bourbon barrels or rye or whatever we're doing, all the spirits, and bring those barrels, and then we blend. So it's pretty much, in the blending sense, the same thing in my estimation.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that we do take the same approach with both. Um, I don't know that we think about the future of. I feel like if it's good when you blend it and bottle it, and we do other things that are kind of our little rituals that we do to think about projections and how things will taste down the road. But I think we basically cover all our bases when we blend, and I feel like we have a lot of confidence. I will say that we have confidence in what we put together, that it will have longevity, and that it will be a beautiful whiskey or wine for a long time. Mark has a wine. What vintage was it on the wine that a critic said that you could drink it now or lay it down for the next 50 years?
That was Robert Parker, who
Yeah.
gave us our first 100-point wine,
Yep.
which we got the 100 points after it was already 10 years old. And then he said that it's still the youngest
Drink
wine.
it now or
It was the youngest wine of that vintage. That was 2001. And he said, you can put it away for 8 years and then drink it for the next 50
the next
years.
50. So we hope that our old carters, I think I have full confidence that they will go the long haul.
I do know one thing. Bourbon lasts a lot longer than wine does. And once you open a bottle of wine, you better drink it. With a bourbon, you can keep it going for a year or 2 years if you take care of it properly.
Yes. Does that answer the question?
It's a great answer to the question. So, hey, everybody, it's getting loud up here. Whoa, 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 lower, 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 please, please. So we have a question that's going to join us up on TV. So everybody, please lower. All right, Mr. Reynolds, we are ready when you are. Okay.
Hi, Mark and Sherry. Matt John Powley from Northern California.
Hey.
Good to see you.
I just had a question. What are the differences and or similarities in having a wine label and a bourbon label?
Yes.
Yes.
Good question. Thank you very much. Well, I mean, in process, first of all, everything's creative, right? So that's the basis. So you're creating something that you want to go out into the world, which is your base always. Differences are wine is a crop. You're dealing with Mother Nature. You are dealing with a harvest that's fickle. You're dealing with climate idiosyncrasies. You're dealing with
Mother Nature can be really hard on you
Yeah.
when you're making wine.
You get to pick one day a year for that grape harvest that you're doing, unless you're Kim, and then you pick 52 times. That's fine. But for us, it's typically one day a year that you're picking those grapes to put into that bottle. With whiskey, I love it because now we have a little palette of barrels to play with, like a palette of paint on an artist's easel. So
Absolutely.
or spices in a spice rack in the kitchen. So it's a little more forgiving, right? So we aren't tied to the seasons as much. We can blend and do our thing whenever we want to do it, in essence, sort of. So those are the differences. Both are very fulfilling.
I love them both, really true. The wines is much more difficult. And somebody asked me that just on Saturday, a major critic, and I said, bourbon is easier than wine, truly. It's
More forgiving.
you still need to take care of it. It takes longer, but growing grapes, it's a crop and it's really difficult today, and it's very expensive today. So
Yeah. And we grow our own grapes, and we also source grapes from other vineyards, but it's the same. I mean, it's the same growing season, same year.
And when you say it's the same, it's the passion is the same, and it truly is. I would never give up either one.
All right, Matt, how was that?
Really good. Could I follow up? Do you ever plan on marrying the two and putting the bourbon in a cab barrel?
Well,
Go ahead, honey.
that's a very interesting question you propose. I'm getting the hook.
So,
You
And
can always say maybe,
you know what we say, Matt? Anything's possible.
There we go.
and everything's possible.
hey, Matt, thanks for joining us. Hey, I want to brag on Matt for a minute. Who is the greatest left-handed hitter of all time that played for the Padres? He played college baseball at San Diego State with Tony Gwynn. Matt was a third-string pitcher. He had a high ERA, but he's a great guy. Matt, thanks for joining us. Tony Gwynn's teammate, for real. All right, so from the left coast, California, we've got Boston, Massachusetts, Bob Bright. Bob, what's up, brother?
Hello, how are you? Hi, Mark and Sherry. How are you tonight?
Hold on, Bob. Let me get a
Good.
translator. The dialects, I'm just joking. That's
So,
left
simple
over from
question.
the revolution, but keep going.
Simple question, not as technical as Matt's. What are your favorite pours? Bourbon, rye, American whiskey. What's each of your favorite pour?
I'll be really easy with that. Whatever's in my glass.
Good answer.
I would have to say it depends on the time of the day and the season. I mean, I love everything that we produce, obviously.
It really,
Am I
I
getting
agree
no?
with Sherry perfectly. It's what is it daytime, nighttime? Is it cold? Is it hot? All those things really, to me, makes a difference. And what you're eating and who you're with,
I mean, because all of our expressions really are different, right? We got the ryes, the bourbons, the American whiskeys. They're all over the place. They all just
right.
have to be really good. And that's what we strive for.
Excellent. Thank you for your answers.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much.
All right, Bobby, thank you. So let's do this. Number two, let's have number one. Let's do this. Let's have a toast to Mark and Cherry. They're very busy people, so let's toast with number two. So to Mark and Cherry Carter, the new heroes on the bourbon frontier. Here. Cheers. All right. There's an Irish cheer coming out of the middle of the room. That's unusual. Give her a shot. Now let us hear, when you nose it, when you taste it, let us know what you think about it. Hey, and as you're tasting it, I want to just mention my good friend Brian Booth here. Look at the dapper look. Now, if Brian hadn't been married 10 days ago to that beautiful lady in the back, congratulations to the Booths. Congratulations. Now, can I get 3 Hail Marys and an Our Father for you? No, I'm just joking. All right, what do you think about number two? So this is straight bourbon whiskey, right? 116.6 proof. Jenny, bourbon Jenny, what are you saying? Delicious. Any other notes? Any other thoughts, Stacy?
Thank you.
I heard a long caramel finish. I get a long finish on that too. Really long, warm. What else? Scotty? Cinnamon and applesauce. Like that little cup. Like that little cup you give your kids every day for their lunch, right?
Yeah,
I
do
that.
like that
I like the
tasting
fruit.
note.
I
I
like the
do like
fruit.
cinnamon and that apple on this.
What else? Use that. Hey, everybody. Use that Kentucky Chew. Use your tongue. Work your mouth with it. Work it around your gums. Hold it in your mouth before you swallow it and drink it slowly. And tell us what you get on that. Anybody else? I heard another apple out there. Ed, what do you get? Green apple pie. Sweet apple pie. There you go. What do the Carters get on this one?
I like that apple pie throw.
Yeah,
A lot of apples in here. That's
Well,
good.
a lot of apple pie,
And you
baked
got to
goods.
remember with apple pie, right? You've got not only apples, not only cinnamon, but you got that beautiful crust, right? So you've got that little barrel quality of that yeastiness and the caramelized sugar on the crust.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Getting real hard to hear up here. You're going to miss something really important.
I really love Steve. He knows how to control a crowd.
He knows how to control a crowd.
Steve's lost control of the crowd. What are you talking about? I've lost control.
Okay, questions from the back row. All y'all in the back row. I need 3 questions from the back row. Who's listening? Who's listening in the back row?
All right,
Okay.
Todd Boffman.
We need 3 questions from the back row right now. Classifications. Excellent question. Thank you, back row. So, Mark, go ahead. Okay, I'll tell.
Which part do you want me to take? The
So those
American?
classifications, yes. So basically, to be an American whiskey, what does it have to be?
Well, we got a couple.
Start with bourbon.
It's really easy. It's usually not anything. It's just whiskey. So,
Just whiskey?
yeah,
That seems
but it's really good whiskey because there's a couple of problems. It can't be bourbon because usually it entered into a barrel over 125. It didn't go into a new barrel, so you already messed up. So, but it can taste really good. And it is almost always all corn.
Yes. So bourbon, you guys know all the rules for bourbon, right? What are the rules for bourbon? What does it have to be? What's the corn percentage have to be over what? Good job. Yeah. It has to go into a what kind of barrel?
New barrel, yeah.
Exactly. It has to go in under what proof?
125 or less.
Exactly. And am I missing anything? Oh, made in the 50 states of the United States, right?
Yeah, that works.
America.
America, it's our spirit. It really is.
So if it, and Boothie's got, and it comes off the still.
Less than 160. Yes, it does.
Thank you, thank you. That's right.
If you broke a bourbon rule, you're an American whiskey or Kentucky whiskey. American whiskey and Kentucky whiskey are the same classification except one's made in Kentucky, distilled in Kentucky, and the others anywhere.
So,
Great question.
So let me ask a question of you. I know all of you. Raise your hand if you've never tasted Old Carter, any of your expressions before tonight. So probably 15%. Raise your hand if you own more than 20 bottles of Old Carter. Mike Yerga, stand up, Mike. Mike, how many bottles do you have?
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you for the support.
So Mike came down with us in the last big group we had 6-8 months ago, and him and Heller were actually, Tom Reed and I were telling everybody it was a high ride, this, that, and the other, and we were never right, and those guys had it right almost to the proof every time. They're experts, if there is such a thing with Old Carter. They are experts. So who has more than 15 bottles of Old Carter at home? Todd, you do? Scotty, you do? Boy, it's hard to hide money, isn't it? All right, any questions out there? Whiskey Biscuit.
Well, one thing that we do know when we purchase barrels is the source of the juice. So if we purchase barrels from California, we would have to put California on the label. The TTB makes us.
Absolutely.
Hey, everybody, lower down, please.
Well, yeah. So when it says straight on the front, straight bourbon, straight rye, that really means it comes from the same state, basically. Otherwise, once you start blending them, then you become, a collaboration or.
States on their barrels or bottles, and we don't. So it's all the same mash bill. So, to that guy back there.
Hey, Booth, that's Mr. That guy back there.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just joking.
So, we love Bardstown Bourbon Company, but that's what BBC does. They show what's from Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, maybe, New York and things like that. We use right now, as of right now, at the present, one mash bill from one state in every one of our bottles as of right now.
Hey, did you all see that? I love Booth. He's 42 years younger than me, and he holds the mic like 50 Cent.
Yes, he does.
Come on, big dog.
He's really good at karaoke, too.
Listen, if you want some Garth Brooks Rodeo, I will absolutely rock
Please
this
don't
out
play
later
music
tonight.
until we're done. Thank you, Booth. Love you. I mean it.
Okay, so I've got another guest speaker I'm going to bring up. We're still pouring. So Matt Reynolds, come on up, Matt. Let me introduce an old friend now. Matt Reynolds drove from Henderson, Kentucky, which is 2 hours west of Louisville, and he runs the bourbon raffle for the Habitat for Humanity in Henderson, Kentucky. Big Bourbon Club partnered with them last year as a sponsor. We're doing it again this year. And so he drove in to introduce the raffle to you all, which is probably the biggest bourbon raffle in Western Kentucky, or at least Owensboro area for sure. Take it over.
Yes, thank you. I think you accidentally switched me and the young lady from the museum's place. I think after hearing hers, that's going to look more like we're raffling off Dark Eyes. But anyways, we'll get to it. So just like her, the proceeds from our raffle help our operating account, Habitat for Humanity of Henderson. Shadley, who was here earlier, the blonde, cards out. She likes to call them the houses that Bourbon helped build. We have been able to build, in the last 3 years, we've been able to build 8 houses, Bourbon raffle proceeds. So that was from folks just like yourself. This year we have a 20 prize collection. That's at www.hendersonkyraffle.org. Natalie, it keeps on cutting in and out, but so the 20th place, don't everybody get excited, 4 roses. All right. 19th place. Oh, Booth, hold it up to the 19th place is kind of a trick bag. Yeah, you can't show it to she's had a lot to drink tonight, so just kind of keep that in mind as she's just flashing them around the room. Kind of a trick bag. You'll see some stuff in there, but if you go to that www.hendersonkyraffle.org, all of the bottles are listed. 18th place. All right, Natalie, you can set it down. 17th, collecting from Mixter. 16th, New Riff. 15th from Maker's Mark. 14th, you got some Isaac Bowman and Angel's Envy. 13th, you have some Peerless and Elijah Craig. 12th place, you have some Wilderness Trail and OKI Reserve. 11th place from Basil Hayden. 10th place, some from Whistle Pig, Pursuit United. Oh, she's going so fast now. That's all right. You'll all see it. Don't worry. 9th place, Calumet. 8th place, Knob Creek. Hey, wait, look. There's some old. No, put that down. There's some old Carter in 7th place. There's some old, along with some other Willett stuff. 6th place, some E.H. Taylor, Sazerac, and Eagle Rare. 5th place, a bunch of Blantons, Weller. 4th place, I could not, for some reason, until we put the raffle out, I could not get the single barrel. I got it soon as we put the print out, but unfortunately, it's all the Wellers except the single barrel until I threw a Sazerac in there. 4th place. 3rd place, the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection from last year, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, there was no George T. Stagg this year. Is that right? Oh, last year, I'm sorry. So it's the year before. That's the Buffalo Trace Collection. 2nd place is 10, 12, 15 and 20, Pappy Van Winkle with the barrel lid. Chadley really wanted to get the barrel. It's a full-size barrel lid from Pappy. And the grand prize is the 6, 10, 12, 13, 15, 20, and 23 with that Kentucky wall display that Chadley so desperately thought that the first prize needed, so you could display it on your wall behind your bar. But please, if you go to that www.hendersonkyraffle.org, you can buy tickets right away. They're selling right now, and they're on sale through 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time on October 31st. So thank you for your support. Last year I saw tickets. Thank you all again. Steve?
Hey, Matt. I want to wish you luck, and I want to tell you that was the fastest 1-minute presentation I've ever seen. Holy sheep dip, I turned into a pump. No, I'm just joking. Everybody support the Habitat. It's a great cause. $100 raffle ticket. The last day is October 31. It's the biggest raffle out there. Go online. And again, they'll be in our next month's newsletter where you can see more about it. Matt, you all drive safely back home tonight. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. Does everybody have a pour of number 3? I heard a couple of no's, so we'll pop up. And Sandy, anybody else? Did you get number 3, Jack? Okay. Is this number 3? Thank you for doing that. So let me remind you, this is another bourbon. 118 proof. This is bottle number 1 of 686, which is what does this mean? VSB.
I think you won the raffle.
Well, we're going to do another question for the small. Okay. Hey, Bill, are we ready? All right, listen up, everybody. Listen up. We're going to raffle off a bottle. Bob Bright out of Melrose, Massachusetts. All right, Bob.
Love it. Love it.
You get to buy it at my price of $480. You're going to like that. No, I'm just joking. It's not $480. Yeah. Russell's the Uber driver for the bottle. Okay, good job.
Hello.
Hey, Bob, you're the winner.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, Bob, that's your fan club from Alabama yelling that stuff at you.
I love them.
Bob, do you know you won the bottle? Did you hear that?
I do. Thank you very
Congratulations.
much. Thank
Good
you
for
very
you.
much.
We'll, I'll keep it at my house, and when you come back down, we'll break it open on October 11th.
You got it. Sounds
All
like
right,
a
so hold
plan.
on. We're going to take a quick time out. I've got a question to Mark and Sherry.
The answer isn't one was my guy. That one and two. But they don't, and most people don't look at it. Only the true believers.
Okay, everybody, pay attention. Pay attention, everybody. So I've got one other bottle that we'll raffle off for this crazy audience. No, we're not doing Civil War history. Pay attention, Jeb Stewart. Don't give me an answer before I even ask the question. Okay, so here we go. So this is truly Jurga. Now bite your tongue here. Everybody's eligible to win. This is an old Carter trivia question. All right, you're now eliminated if you yell out. That's what I would do with my four boys at the dinner table. All right? Okay, so here's the deal. Sherry and Mark have told this story a lot, so you may have heard it, you may not have heard it. But if you're true disciples of the brand and the people, you probably have heard this. But a little history is, you know about Kentucky Owl and their experience there. Jay, you are not eligible, my man. So their last batch at Kentucky Owl was number what? No. No. 6. That's not the question. That's not the trivia.
I love
leading
that.
everybody. I'm baiting them. All right. So when they left and started Oak Carter, I'll tell you when you have a chance to win. Their first expression that was released, rye or a bourbon. It was. God, I really wish you were Chris Heller now. I was just teasing earlier. So the first one was a rye, but Mark and Sherry struggled with the first expression. So they did something really unique with the first one. Now, don't yell it out because you will be eliminated. You're not eligible. And when I tell you a little hot, my son won it. Here you go, son. Congratulations. All right, hold on. Bourbon Jenny for the right to purchase a bottle. And do not anybody yell out, because if she's wrong, I'm going to go to the next hand that goes up. They double-barreled it. You're wrong, but thanks for playing. They did double-barrel it, but that was a really, really good guess. Hold on. Hand up. Russell Oakes. Come on up, big dog.
Love you.
So let Mark and Sherry explain what that means. Come on, big dog. Let's get pictures. You don't have to thank me. You don't have to thank me. We'll go drinking on the deck tonight. Absolutely. That's my oldest son right there. Oh, they're family members. Okay, Mark and Sherry, tell everybody what his and hers was. What does that mean?
Okay, here is the story.
Yes.
So, when you start a new brand, you may only be one and done, is what we thought. And so we wanted to make sure that the first one we came out with was really, really good so people would buy our stuff again. So we had a hard time deciding which of two things that we really loved, and we took it to everybody we knew. In fact, we took it to Jay Matthews at the Brown Hotel and asked him, "What do you think?"
Well, and the crazy
Now here's where Sherry comes in. It's gonna be good.
Well, okay, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So the crazy part was, right, with Kentucky Owl, we only did bourbon, only Kentucky straight bourbon. So when we took our departure and did our new thing, we thought, well, let's do something different. Let's do rye.
Yeah.
Rye is different. Let's do rye. So
They won't do rye.
they won't do famous. Anyway, so we built two blends. I built a blend that I loved. Mark built a blend that he loved. And we couldn't decide between the two of them which one we liked more.
Actually, one was really crazy. Was we built them together, but I just like this one, and you like that one.
Right, very much so.
Okay.
So we took them out and about, sampled lots of folks. The first folk that we sampled was Jay Matthews at the Brown Hotel, and it was just kind of one of these things where no one was giving us a clear answer. This is definitely the winner. Go here. It was 50-50 across the way.
And we talked to just about every bartender in Kentucky. Which one is the one we need to roll with first? We really didn't know what we were doing at this point on that. And we finally took it to the Justins.
From Justin's House of Bourbon.
And
because they didn't even have Justin's House of Bourbon at that time.
Yeah, they have two Justins. And we said, this will be a clear winner. One of these will be a clear winner. And one picked the one that Sherry liked, and one picked the one I liked. So there was no clear winner.
No, but Justin Thompson sat back, grunted a lot, and said, would you like the good news or the bad news? Mark said, well, I don't like bad news. Give me the good news. Justin Thompson said, the good news is there is no bad news. They're both delicious. Can you make them both?
And we didn't think about that yet.
And by some miracle, we had not cross-pollinated those barrels. So indeed, we could make both of them. And so we did. And so one became batch number one became batch number two. We released them together, and the rest is kind of history.
And they became his and hers.
They were his and hers. Yes.
And there you go. Russell, congratulations.
Russell!
All right. So we're on 3. Raise your hand if you've cheated and you've tasted it.
I have.
You're my kind of people. So if you haven't, if you're one of those other kind of right side brain or left side, whatever brain you are, try it now. And if you've had it, tell us what you think. What about this bourbon selection? Licorice? Yeah?
Ooh, I like Flavor Bomb. Hey, girl, hey.
Come on, speak up. A grassy finish? Grassy finish. Raisin? I get that. I definitely get that.
think it was a good build up to here. I feel like this is dessert of the three.
I think that was a really good order because, like Sherry just said, dessert, exotic.
So this
I
is
love exotic.
this is not always fair, but I always. I'm going to take a straw vote of your favorite of the three, and I say it's not fair because you have a rye and two bourbons. But if the first expression, the rye, was your favorite, raise your hand. Connor, you've got it's the rye. We got a small rye group. I'm really surprised. All right. The second bourbon expression, which I believe the proof was hotter on the second. Raise your hand on the second. It's still small, so the third has to be the winner. Raise your hand for the third. So I'd say the third by a little bit.
Okay, I like
How
that, Scotty.
you loved all three of them? Raise your hand.
Woohoo!
All right.
Love you guys.
All right, so we're a little bit over time, but we've got a few more questions if the Carters are okay, and if not,
no.
Is that okay?
No, we're okay.
All right, we got a live question for Mr. Greg Cossa here. Stand up. Stand up. He's an attorney, went to Notre Dame. He struggles with instruction.
I struggle with a football team. I wanted to ask you real quick. You're doing wine in California. You're doing bourbon in Kentucky. Talk to me a little bit about the regulatory environments of both states.
Ooh.
So you may not have heard it. He's a lawyer from Notre Dame. Okay, thank you.
Okay. No comment. Just kidding.
He's an insurance lawyer. He doesn't really care what the answer is.
I mean, there's so much regulation all over the board. I mean, I don't see any difference between the two states. Do you?
No, whenever you're
Plus-
dealing with spirits or wine,
Yeah.
there's just people are always there's like local people, there's state people, then there's federal people, so there's always somebody wanting something.
Well, you just look up the form, fill it out, turn it in. That's what we do on a very regular basis. And it's good to have a good compliance person.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, give it to the Goombas over here, and they fix it.
They do great. Everybody, you know. No.
Well, not really. It's
No.
weird.
I mean,
because
it's also
because there's like 3 levels.
Hey,
here.
everybody in the back. Everybody in the back. We're still going up here.
and also.
Let me have your attention. Whoa, 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 whoa. Mark and Sherry trying to talk. We know about Notre Dame's football team, but it's not about Greg. It's about Mark and Sherry. Okay, thank you.
Well,
Back to the lawyer question.
Yeah. Yeah. They're different too. Like Sherry was saying, it's apples and oranges. I'm a winery in Napa. I'm a distillery in Kentucky. And both of those have different regulations.
Okay, I've got a question.
But can I get your card for later? Okay, cool.
All right, question in the back.
No comment.
No, that's a great question, actually. And I'll go right back to what we said earlier. We are a small company. Everything is literally crafted, start to finish by hand. And we don't really look at what the big guys are doing. They're going to do what they're going to do. We're little dogs. We're fine with that. We're going to do what we're going to do. It's always going to be with integrity. It's always going to be truth in labeling. I mean, we could get into a whole discussion on what that even means, but
No comment.
for us, I would like to say on behalf of the whole team that what you see, what you taste is what you get. There's no funny stuff going on behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
oh, love you, mean it.
Hey, you're the greatest. Don't ever change.
I hope that answered the question.
Any other questions out there? So just keep in mind, we got a question in the very back with a man who brought his own Glencairn, and he's not joined the Big Bourbon Club yet. Give him a little bit of support right now to join.
We love you.
Listen, this is not the Ryder Cup. Give him some support to join a whiskey club. Come on. Thank you. Good granny. Putting for 8. He's not putting for the win on 18.
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes,
do.
there is and should be. Everybody that we distribute with gets the exact same price wholesale. And we ask for it a certain price, which is under $200 for what we do. Yes.
MSRP should be $200.
And then after that, other people do whatever they want with it.
That's a great question. Thank you for asking it.
Okay, so let me.
Russell.
Hey, the Double Oaks. Hey, Russ, go ahead and stand up. Hold on, let me. I don't think she heard it. I'll repeat the question.
Yeah, I heard it.
I did not ask him to say that, but I'm glad.
I did hear it. First of all, I love you, Russell. And second of all, I love you.
I love you too, Jen A.
Should I? So we would love. First of all, we would love to do a single barrel pick. However, we don't do single barrel pick. If you can be patient with us, it might take 10 years. I'm in it. You in it? Are you in it? Okay. I mean, we literally are growing as we feel comfortable, and we are lovingly accepting requests, and we appreciate each and every one of them, but we just don't have the barrels to do it. So thank you. Yes. Would we love to do it? Yes. Can we do it? Not yet.
Don't be modest. Don't be modest.
Oh.
Don't be modest. Listen, a single barrel is not an old Carter product. It's that simple.
Oh.
They're blenders, right?
Thank you, Jay.
We bring in barrels. We blend barrels.
Jay, you got to do Darth Vader.
That's what we do.
Do Darth Vader.
It's right here.
We do.
But
We
that's
like
the bottom
very
line.
small
I mean,
batches.
I can bring you a single barrel from somewhere that we purchased. Not an old Carter product, right? So very small batch.
That's what Steve just said.
Can you move 700 bottles?
We could
That's
maybe
the
entertain
deal.
that.
It's way better than 150, and I guarantee you it'll taste better.
So let's do this. We're running over. Number one, this is the biggest crowd we've ever had. Number two, we've got half of you that have flown in on an airplane or drove in from far away
Thank you,
to
guys.
see Mark and Sherry.
We love you all. Thank you so much
Love you.
for the love and the support.
So let me say this. If you're not aware, and I know they mentioned it briefly, but Mark and Sherry have purchased a building a couple years ago in downtown Louisville on Market Street. It's right next to the White Castle that most of you would know.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Late
the
at
Old
night.
Carter Whiskey Company has a beautiful tasting room, and in the back they actually do the real work. They do the bottling, and what you may not know, and I didn't know this till the last time down there, and I've known these guys for a while, but they have their own DSP. They make their own whiskey. They are a distillery. Did you raise your hand if you did not know that?
Hey, Jay, what's our DSP number?
All right.
Good job. I love you.
So I would encourage you. They have their Old Carter Social Club. I'm a very proud and excited member. Todd Boffman's going to be out tomorrow. He just came in from Columbus. He's a member. But they're expanding, they're growing, they're coming. But there are openings there at the O. Carter Social Club. So don't be afraid to join up and have access to some of the best whiskey and rye being made anywhere, okay? I got to tell you, so 12 years ago, there were 20,000 fewer distilleries and brands in the country than there are today. This space has gotten crowded fast. And I would argue with you, this is anecdotal, but this is me. I would argue that this is the number one brand that has come out of nowhere out of all of these other 18, 20,000. You may disagree, and you can do that. It doesn't matter to me. But without a doubt, they're one of the very, very top across the country. They're great friends. They're great people, and we can't thank you enough for coming to the Big Bourbon Club. All right.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. That's an amazing compliment because the movement is huge, and that's an amazing statement that you just made. Thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Can anybody come up and get a bottle signed or get a picture? Is that okay?
I've got a couple cool things to let people know.
Yeah, please.
So if any of you all are in town for the week or local, we just for real. Come on now. Pop up Saturday.
Pop up's coming.
So we did just announce on Instagram today. I think it was today. That we are doing another pop up on Saturday. The doors open at 10:30. We are releasing a 14-year age-stated single barrel straight Kentucky bourbon whiskey. Barrel number 28 comes in at 116.2. I posted it. It's on Instagram. I can't remember the proof. She's delicious. We did 139 bottles out of that barrel, and we'd love to see you guys on Saturday. I actually have an art studio right next door, and I'm opening my doors after the
pop up.
And so if you want to come up and see what's up in my art studio.
Hey, and I'm going to buy a lot of White Castle.
We'll do White Castle in the studio. Sounds good. 116.2. I got it.
All right.
Right? Okay, so 116.2 on the proof. And that is Saturday. You guys can always find us in all the usual places, Instagram, Facebook, online at Old Carter Whiskey Co.
Really?
I'm Old Sherry Carter. It's Mark Carter. What is it? Mark Joseph Carter.
No, it's just Mark Carter 52. I love you all. Yeah.
Hey, final housekeeping items. I'm old Steve Higdon.
We're old.
We are all old, and Joe's older than dirt.
I'm going to
and by
feel
the way,
really
thank
old in
you,
the morning.
Joe's older than dirt, for hosting us.
All right. If you want to get a bottle signed or a picture, the line starts with Mr. Mercurio right here. Do not come here. Do not come in the middle. We want it ordered over here, or they're not going to look at you. Number 2, thank you. Thank you to the Big Bourbon Club members. Thank you for your support. Thanks for coming to Louisville. Love you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
Hey,
Steve
Leslie.
Hickman and the Big Bourbon
Last thing.
Club.
Press